8:57 p.m. It's Wednesday. Hey guys, how are you? And welcome to another video of me going over the stock picks, directed by yours truly, Bilal Ahmed. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, today we're going to be going over three stock picks. Two of them are going to be, well, one of them is a health stock, another one is packaged software, and the last one is going to be an OTC over the counter stock. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. So the first stock is Orchard Therapeutics, ticker symbol ORTX. It's a pharmaceutical stock, a health stock. So, um, the reason we're talking about it today is because how it shot up 33%, almost 34%. So, and we're gonna investigate kind of, the reason behind this spike up in the price today. So, first of all, like we always do, so we're gonna go to the chart first. Okay, look at the technicals, like to what they say about the future and the past, and like to ask, if we can determine if the technicals say something about why the stock shot up. So, first of all, let's just look at the chart as a whole, from a big point of view. Yeah. So zooming out on the weekly chart, now this is a nice decent downtrend. Now I do see a trend line right here. Okay. If we go to the daily chart right here, let me just adjust that trend line real quick. And there you go. Yeah. So that's a really long-term trend line, and as you can see, every time we come across that trend line, maybe even touch it, we kind of get slammed back down and have a huge sell-off. So this might be the case here. This might be not the case. Time will tell. But I do see a resistance right here, off of the previous breakout or attempted breakout. It's around, I would say, 735. Yeah, that's where the volume shelf is too. So there's like a lot of supply to here. So we're gonna need to at least break above 750, I would say, to make our way into the, I would say, like, late $8 or $9 move. So, like, to get there, we definitely need to clear the previous high. Um, Another thing to notice is we're at the 200-day moving average. This white line right here, you see the moving average, that's the 200-day moving average. So that's a big deal. That's a big resistance. That's why I think when we, came across it, we got sucked right back to the 200-day moving average, because there was definitely a lot of selling, a lot of automated orders got filled in. So, I think that this has potential, but the thing that scares me is this gap down. So we gapped up, and this gap is not something that I'm really fond of. Um, for me, I think the price needs to come down to fill the gap, and then I would kind of look for a potential entry for this stock. Or another scenario could be, since we did break this trend line with high volume, which is a good bullish sign. So that means a lot of buyers are present at the 200 moving average, and the stock, they want the stock to break out. So, but still, for me to enter the stock, either it has to fill the price gap or it needs to break above this previous high. Um, that's two potential entries I see in the stock. Now let's look at the RSI. The RSI is definitely getting overbought right here, and let's draw like a horizontal line, and as you can see right here, every time the RSI comes around that level, it gets slammed down, hence the sell-off, at the trend lines. So that's kind of risky also, but we're gonna stick to the chart, and if the stock breaks out, that could be a potential entry like we discussed. Now, another thing to notice over here is, we talked about the price gap, and let's see. Yeah, so now let's talk about the fundamentals as to why the stock shot up, in news terms. Let's see if TradingView has some news over here. Yeah. So around December 2020, December 21, 2020, Orchard Therapeutics secures European Commission's full market authorization of Libmeldy, shares gain pre-bell or pre-market. So this is basically one of their drugs, um, which is intended to treat the metachromatic a disease, or MLD, a rare fatal genetic disorder. So their specialty is basically creating drugs to basically, create immunity or cures for genetic disorder diseases. So the most recent news for Orchard Therapeutics was, so basically on January 13, 2021, JP Morgan is going to have a healthcare conference in which Orchard Therapeutics is to present their global gene therapy. So stocks usually run up to an upcoming event, and then when the event comes, they usually sell off. In this case, it's probably doing the same. I feel like when the day comes, or maybe even a day before, the stock's gonna start to sell off, and this might continue to run up some more. Who knows? From a technical standpoint, I do see it running up some more, but then again, for the entry, I wanted to break out of here. Okay, now for the next stock pick, we have Change Healthcare. It's a packaged software stock, ticker symbol CHNG. And this stock today went up 30% or 5 points. Now, this is, let me clear this real quick. Excuse me. Okay, so what I see over here is I see a massive trend line going from the debut of the stock. And that was definitely a really strong resistance. And we literally just gapped up out of that trend line. So now we have over here is, you guessed it right, a price gap. So that's what scares me. But at the same time, we might respect this gap. But I do think the stock can come down to retest this trend line breakout, and then go from there. Because there's definitely a lot of bids sitting over here to be filled. So that's something to pay attention to. Another thing to notice is today the candle closed red, which means the sellers were in majority. So I really think that this will start to come down. Maybe, like, looking at how the stock moved today, it might just shoot down into that trend line to retest that breakout and then go up again. Who knows? But like from this point, it does look like it wants to start to head down. And then that retest, I would want to see some kind of hammer or reaction, bullish reaction to re-enter the stock. But other than that, right now it's really like no point of entry right now. Another reason why is because of the RSI, how it's so overbought. It's at 83, so that's extremely overbought. It definitely needs to come down. Looking at the weekly chart, like it's insanely overbought. So even on the weekly chart, it needs to come down too. I would expect it to come down either next week or this week. Yeah. So now let's look at the fundamentals and why the stock went up. Okay. Looking at Yahoo Finance, the volume today was insanely high, like 86 times more than the average volume. So that's a big deal. And nothing to see at the business. Something that I want to show you guys is I use this website called Flow Algo to basically check flows for the stocks. And there was some option activity early at market open for the stock. Somebody bought the 22 calls for the April 16 expiration, and they paid around 155,000 in premium. Also, there were a lot of dark pool prints traded throughout the day. And the share quantity was insane, hence why the stock shot up. So that's a lot of insider trading that I think caused this big gap up. So let's talk about the reason why this stock shot up. United Health to purchase Change Healthcare for $8 billion. Wow. So United Healthcare is a big company, okay? And UNH, ticker symbol UNH, that's a big stock. So let's kind of read over it. So United Health Group Incorporated agreed to purchase Change Healthcare Incorporated in deal that values the health technology company at about $8 billion. So basically, the deal will combine Change Healthcare with United Health Optum Insight Unit to offer software, data analytics, technology, and other services to healthcare industry. Now that merger is a big deal. A part of United Health. It's gonna combine with Change Healthcare, so that's a big deal for the company Change. So yeah, that's basically the reason why the stock shot up today, and definitely we're gonna see some profit taking, and we can expect it to come down. But if that new, I mean, it's just a rumor right now. Like they haven't bought the stock, or sorry, company. But if the deal does set in, and they do decide to actually write it on paper that they're buying it, this stock could potentially go much higher. Now let's talk about our third stock. Now, a third stock is going to be an OTC, over the counter stock, ticker symbol LLLI, Lamper Less Lethal. It's an aerospace and defense company. Now, looking at the monthly chart, there's really nothing you can see here except that it capped around 450 in 2005. Looking at the weekly chart, all I see is just sideways movement. But on the daily chart, we see this big spike right here, and to let's see if we put the pivots on here. Yeah, so on the pivots, we see some, we can use the pivots to basically determine the resistance levels. So our next resistance upcoming is around 0.79, and then we're gonna hit 0.09. That's gonna be next resistance. But definitely, I can see a pullback before that. So you should never chase a stock. All stocks rarely go just straight up. They're definitely going to pull back before going up again, because nobody's going to keep buying the stock. They're definitely going to try to cash in and then buy cheaper again. So I would just wait and see for the stock to pull back. Now let's see if we can determine the levels at which the stock can pull back. Okay, definitely. Okay, so over here, this double top right here, that was a tough resistance to break, but this stock did break it. So I would definitely be looking for the stock to pull back to this 0.060165 level. So if the stock does pull back to it and doesn't break it, holds that level, if buyers hold that level, the bids come in. So that would be a really nice entry point for the stock if you missed it. If you're still in, I would recommend taking some profits. But other than that, yeah, I would just wait on the stock. There's definitely a big spike today, 229%. That's a big deal for any stock. So definitely there's, I wouldn't say if I see technical potential, because the stock is just sideways. But if you want to hold the stock long term, definitely wait for a pullback to this 0.060165 level. Now let's look at some of the reasons, if we can find any. So I did look over the stock, didn't really find any reason why the stock went up, except just that there's definitely a lot of insider trading. I did find something that was like 2 years ago. In April 2019, Lampert Less Lethal received 172K purchase order. And then in July, Lampert Less Lethal signs agreement with Goxer McKean Sinai. So other than that, it just designs, develops, manufactures, and sells civil and military defense equipment worldwide. So we might get some news later why the stock shut up, but as of now, there's no public news of why this move happened. Could be some insider trading. Could be some news that the insiders got first, and they bought in, but we haven't gotten it. but like as of now, there's really nothing on the internet surfaced as to why the stock shot up this much. And the R size pretty bought also. So yeah, even on the weekly, we can definitely expect a pullback. That's it, guys. So if you guys have any questions about the stock we went over, if you guys have any suggestions, any advice that we can improve in the videos, feel free to comment in the comment section. And if you guys think you guys know why the stock shot up, I would definitely love to know. But other than that, that's it for today. This is Bilal signing off here, and you guys have a great day.